It's a PDF.
Yeah, no, I never had problems with that.
Yeah, do you, maybe you want to close?
Oh, no, it's open right now, I'm just saying before.
Nope. Anybody else have trouble?
No, I got some emails outside today that when they place themselves, who knows the dates, and that's the rules, so the state
There's, by the way, have you Gmail before? Okay, so the way ours, it's a story, they all follow each other. They go into the same line, so the conversation keeps up in the same line. So it was, they made it, like a couple of years ago, you can change a setting where every email shows individually, or, because you can lose emails easily. If they just go back and forth between people, next thing you know, you have 8 emails in one little line, and if you keep getting them in the day, it's way down there, and you have 8 emails and you never knew it. So that might be,
I have the dates, it came on the 10th.
okay?
The one that came on the 10th wasn't there till today. The other ones came 2 days ago.
What, is it in conversation mode?
I don't know what.
Yeah, that's the only thing.
Yeah, you could be in the wrong, you have it set
You
up
can look at it.
wrong.
It's probably defaulted to that.
Yeah, that could be.
So it just keeps adding to the date that you got the original one.
Probably.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, so it filled in with like the
Yes.
7th and the 15th.
yeah. So they
That's
actually
okay.
came on the right date, they just kept adding to your original one that you
Okay.
got days ago.
You can change the setting if you don't like it.
Okay.
I'd have to go and research how it went, but you can.
Well, that's my 12-year-old daughter.
Yeah, right, perfect.
Although I had my grandfather come that out one day. Any other questions on the semi-monthly bills? Hearing none. Joe?
Aye.
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 Aye. Motion carried 7-0. Okay, how about, Lee, do you have anything?
Are you leaving as soon as you speak? It seems to be the trend.
Door's closed, I have to. I just wanted to bring the board up to speed on a change that has came about, and with the help of Mr. Fink and CISA 6. Over the past couple of years, we've made pretty strong investments financially and time-wise with staff with certain professional development activities. And CISA, working with First Educational Resources, who we partnered with before, has come up with a plan for next February the 18th, in which they will bring in 4 keynote nationwide speakers at a very, very reduced cost, to the point where I think we were quoted today, it's got $6 per teacher, where normally it's in the $100 range. And the idea is by getting, I'm trying to think, literally probably 1,000+ teachers from the CISA 6 area on the same day during the school year versus the summer, they can host this keynote presentation on grading, assessment, a variety of instructional, research-based things.
And inviting schools outside of CISA 6 to participate, they would get charged the full registration.
Yeah, so CISA 6 schools will pay the $6 to $8 a head fee. The only issue here is when we put our calendar together, we were not sure CISA was going to be taking care of this, or if we would participate based on the cost. Now that the cost has come in and we know who the speakers are, I'm just informing the board that we're going to be making a request to add an in-service day on Monday, February 18th. It is not on the calendar at this time, but this opportunity to participate in the CISA professional development at the savings that we'll see is hard to pass up. And in terms of the savings, I can share with you that last year we brought in one of these speakers. Obviously it was funded through a grant, so it wasn't our money, but he was a $5,000 per day. So we're going to be able to get our entire faculty over there probably roughly for about $600 for the day. The only request that CISA and First is making is that because they have to shuffle people around Oshkosh due to the number of people attending, is that they are going to request probably the use of 3 of our buses that we bring our teachers up on, that then they would use those buses to shuttle people to Oshkosh West, Oshkosh North, maybe the university or something like that.
I think what's great about the first model is it's an organization that is just, they bring in all the key players when it comes to professional development in 2018, 19 and beyond. But what's great about what they're doing is they're hosting it at a school. So you're not paying a fee to be, a lot of times you're at a hotel, you know, in the conference room. And then you got this, then the lunch is included and there's all these extra fees that come with it. This is at a school, it's close to home. I think they do Subway or something very inexpensive, and it's
the
all.
lunch, the lunch is included in the $6 per person, so it's pretty genuine.
Even when we were going, we sent teachers to their summer work, it's still very inexpensive compared to heading to some of the large summits and experiences that I've been to. Like, it's high quality stuff, it's local, so it's a great trend. I only hope it just continues literally forever, like that's the model.
CISA can continue this, but
Longest
I know-
first days alive, I think
Yeah.
it'll be there.
I know Dick brought it back to our attention, and I would be honest with you, a year ago it was proposed. We didn't hear a lot of follow-up from CISA, but as soon as we realized today what the cost and opportunity would be, I wanted to bring it back to the board. It's not an item on the agenda, but I just wanted to inform people, because we want to get the word out to parents as soon as possible. I know it's literally a year away, but we've created the calendar now, and we want to stick to it as much as we can. This is not a habit of mine or Scott's or the administration team to come and tell you we're start changing dates, because we don't want to get into that.
But it sounds like they're gonna try to stick with President's Day.
Yeah, moving forward,
President's Day on an annual basis, so we'll be able to.
and for what it's worth, in the past, probably 2 years ago to the last, probably, our Dodge area meetings were held on this day. So we used to do a mini version of this, us, Lamira, Waupun, Beaver Dam. So for what it was worth, we were kind of ahead of the curve when we used to hold our DART meetings. We did it on that same day. And what we found is a lot of districts are taking that day off anyway. So we decided to take advantage of that for teacher time. All right. I'll also inform you that, and Bob, I think, is wrapping up a couple, or at least finalizing some computer things, but our forward testing, our DLM testing for students with disabilities, and our Aspire is wrapped up, and we completed it within the window. And we'll wait the results this spring into this summer.
All right,
Thank you.
Bob?
Just a couple of things. We spoke about the testing.
Sorry, Bob.
That's fine. The final date to wrap up testing is Friday the 11th, and we are in the process of doing that, making sure that all students are accounted for, either tested or not, in a region not being tested. We did have a few who were not tested. They simply just aren't in our building anymore, so there are codes that no longer in our building or some other reason why they are not in our building. So those are the things that we spoke about cleaning up. We're in the process of planning graduation already and getting our seniors prepared for that. As far as Teacher Appreciation Week, our student council has taken the lead in our building. They are providing snacks. Today it was like muffins and things like that right away in the morning. They're looking at having nachos on Friday and some other snacks between here and there in our teachers' lounge for our teachers to enjoy. They're also gathering comments from students, that students can go onto a Google form. They can enter a teacher name and put a comment or something you want to say about a teacher, recognize them in some way, and those will be delivered to teachers before the end of the week as well. And also I want to thank all of our board members who attended the senior recognition night last night. Thank you for your support and celebrating with us all the success of the students who were in attendance, as well as our success in general at the high school as we continue to work towards making improvements. Hope all you can make graduation, and we will, and look forward to that day as well.
I just want to comment, I thought that last night, the presenters were all excellent. I thought that was really impressive. And I thought that what really stood out to me, out of all my years at scholarship nights, the two presenters from the military that were there, like what a compelling story. And if a junior class were to see the presentation about a young lady who was in the National Guard.
National Guard.
Like, Oh, that's a recruiting moment. I think a ton of people would want to join the National Guard, getting that level of respect, being called a comrade, and just, wow. I was super impressed with the speakers there. And our kids, obviously.
You're getting a hug from your drill instructor.
Yeah. Probably won't happen that often.
No.
So I thought this was really neat.
No, it was a nice job last night. I want to commend the students for, their appearance. They just look so professional and grown up and dressed very nice. I've been to other school districts giving out scholarships, and it's nowhere near what Mayville does. So congratulations on a well-run program.
Thank you.
Pass that on. Scott, you want to finish your
Yep.
report?
Get it ready.
Just to mention about graduation, Carol wants to know if anybody wants to present anything.
Okay, so Carol sent an email asking if anybody wants to be specifically presenting a diploma. So like you want to give a diploma to John. So is there anybody in particular? Just send me an email, send Jan an email, or Carol, and we'll make sure to get that taken
And I
care
think
of.
ASAP,
She
because
sent-
she had asked that once already.
She
and I-
sent out an email that we should have all gotten today.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
Yep.
okay,
All right?
all righty.
Okay.
Okay, I'm just following
Good.
up on
Yep.
the email.
Yep. Okay, so tonight, you're gonna be asked to approve the policies, and they were already presented to the committee, vetted them out. We literally did go close to line by line through them. We went through all the edits that were recommended by Neola. Neola is our advisor for the policies. So from there, they were shared with this board formally in my report, and then tonight they're on the docket for approval. So once they get approved, they get uploaded through our board docs. It's kind of a portal. And then within a quick turnaround, I think it's a quick turnaround, once we send them to we send them an email, just say, hey, they're ready to go. And so then they upload them and turn them on. So that'd be great to have those approved tonight. We probably only made it about halfway through the policy committee. So we are gonna have to wait until the next board meeting where we determine a policy committee. I just wanna give a heads up where we probably should meet either that week, following week, or like within a 3-week window to get that work done. Otherwise, we're gonna get backlogged, and we're finally gonna get out of the weeds here. So that'd be nice to have that meeting as soon as we can.
There's
It's
a
coming.
bunch of new ones coming.
Yeah, so we're ready, we just need time. So I think it's about a 3 to 4 hour meeting to go through these policies. So just a FYI there. Another FYI, so I have included in the link, and I did share this document with you. I'm not sure if this link will work for you. If you click on that, it says District Efforts to Support Inclusion. Does it work? If anybody's caught up with me? So I may have to share with you. It'll work for me tonight, but I may not.
No.
Yeah, okay. I just didn't have enough time. I was in with people. So I will, tonight, before I leave, I'll make sure to share that with you too. So this year, we experienced some challenges, and the citizens have come to this room and shared with you their perceptions and frustrations that they have. And we are absolutely responding to that. So we began our work this year to really take a good look at equity in the school district and our efforts to support inclusion. So we talk about equity. Equity is about socioeconomics. It is about race. It is about gender. It's about special education, too. So that's the lens that we're looking at everything that we do through, and we always do, but right now, one of the things is we've identified, and it's on the back wall, here's the Mayville School District core, and it's 2 things, it's the academics, and then a culture goal. Well, the culture goal is all learners will be empowered to innovate, self-advocate, and embrace a growth mindset. So on our effort to go down our path of helping empower our students, one of the recommendations that came from the pupil services team that I've been working with is to look at an outside resource to get some more professional development and learning for the team. So one of the things we had on it was we would look and meet with a social justice expert. really, as we started to learn more, it's about cultural responsiveness is what it comes down to. There's a home culture and a school culture. There's a way we expect people to behave in schools, and it is different than what it's like in their households. And that's what PBIS is, Positive Behavior Intervention and Support, our school climate initiative. And it's important that, it's our character education. We absolutely do need to set the tone. What's the norm? How do we want our kids to behave and be like? So at a meeting at Betsisa 6, Ted Neinsky, he's a director there, he had a consultant that was there. His name is Mr. Stan Davis. And he spoke about his services and what he does with some school districts. One of those districts is Sun Prairie School District. And I really thought, hey, he's a good fit. He speaking a great message about cultural responsiveness. And he's got some experience working in the trenches. He owns it's a consulting firm. It's a human resources emphasis is what it comes down to. But he has run focus groups with students outside of our school district, focus groups with parents, helped to do an audit of discipline practices to make sure that they do not have bias in it. And I could keep going. But what I do want you to share with you is Mr. Davis came, met with the team, and everybody was really impressed with the professional development and training services that he can provide. The original goal was to look at next fall, and we had a presenter on cultural responsiveness that we were trying to coordinate for a full-day workshop with the staff. And really, it's just best practices on how to teach kids, to be fair, cultural responsiveness. How do you connect with those students and that home culture, school culture piece? And booked already. Well, Mr. Davis, he actually referred multiple times to the same exact person that we were trying to book, and he is excited to help coordinate in-service for our faculty. So we're looking at professional development for our staff, support of our pupil services team, and looking at our efforts to support inclusion in the school district, as well as some possible focus groups with students and parents. And then recommendations, looking at our policies, our practices and procedures, and just making sure, hey, we're in a good place as a school district. So he did, based upon some of the feedback we received, I did give permission for him to connect with the 8th grade students. And I just, right before the board meeting, had a phone call and was given a thank you, that was an excellent experience for one of the kids that were involved. It's voluntary, everybody, if they don't want to participate. But it's just asking, hey, how's your experience? And keeping it simple like that. So he did share with me a contract. That contract would be $7,500 to support the school district for the month of May through October 30th. That's professional development, running. So whatever we're looking for, it's based upon a number of hours. But I wanted to give you a heads up that I'll be bringing that probably within the next 2 board meetings to you, and just to get your feedback before I do that. So I'm sure he'd be happy to come here to meet everybody as well. In general, he's a support service for the staff and administrative team. He'll have some contact from our vision and our discussions with parents and with students, but really that's just to kind of get a state of the state, and then the rest would be supporting us as we're working on our efforts for inclusion. If you look at the discussions at a national level, you hear tons of talk about equity. And when you see what's happening in the changing dynamics, I was at what's interesting is Nikki just commented on the free reduced lunch rate and said that we're still in the upper 20s. That's different than what she had shared before. She shared a different report. So it's like, well, that's good. I mean, that's what you want as a community. But in the meantime, she shared a different trend. So, the demographics of Mayville are changing, and the demographics of the state of Wisconsin are changing. And this is a good effort to get in front of it to make sure that we're prepared for those changes. As you can see, those changes are coming. There's nothing anybody's going to do about it. So I just wanted to share that with you. And then this is a document which I will make the link be current for you. And it just shows a list of, this is what we've been up to this school year. So we've looked at our procedures for reporting, investigating harassment and bullying. And we've gone step by step through all of those, making sure that our principals and deans are all on the same page. We talked about how we're archiving our records, how we're documenting everything in Skyward. We've identified that a compliance officer is not about, were you compliant in what you did? It is about, as a school district, do we have practices that are inclusive? It is, a compliance officer is not, we have a problem, now I'm gonna make sure you did it right. The compliance officer, if you look at our policy, the intention of it is, are we a welcoming, inclusive school district in our practices, policies, and procedures? That's the job of the compliance officer, not to come in and say, okay, you got a complaint. Did you do it right or wrong? So that aha for all of us was one of the drivers behind some of how we're looking at things. So it's about being proactive. And those two positions happen to be designated as Mr. Zarnath and Mrs. Labelton. So, Lee's been a big part of helping us to kind of put together the vision on what we're working on today. So we provided professional development and training for our staff actually in bullying and harassment, what to do when you see it. We, in addition, and it's not on here, but what happens for us on an annual basis, we actually have an online course that people have to take in bullying and reporting it. So it's part of our requirements. So we have the software, help me, Schoolworks, and it's one of the modules that everybody takes on an annual basis. And it's very good. Actually, it covered a lot of stuff. So then here, as far as our activities that we are going to be working on to support our students regarding diversity, equity, social justice. So what happened is we purchased a brand new second step curriculum, and we purchased the anti-bullying portion of that curriculum. And some of this is, the pupil services team is coming. You know, I am working with them to come, but I thought, hey, this is a resource we already have articulated. Why not share it with you? This is what we're up to. So we received Title IV dollars, grant dollars. Those are new this year. So the intention of those dollars is to support exactly this. Pretty much, you can go and look at it, and it's intended to support our students and the mental health challenges. And mental health is absolutely embedded into the work that we're doing here. So we purchased second step curriculum with that. We are still need time to go through our curriculum to see exactly at what content areas that we're addressing in social studies and English language arts, our diversity, equity, and social justice world. And I guess based upon that, then we're going to create a resource that says this is what we do here in Mayville. Right now, this is work that we're doing to I guess be proactive this spring. But really, we're trying to identify what is the Mayville way. What do we do here? We had looked at bringing in some different speakers for our students and the professional development that we've experienced so far. We had staff that went to a workshop in Myra called Lost at School. We had staff that has gone to Beyond Diversity training. It's sponsored by the DPI. A team went in March, and the second round of training they went to in the month of May. Just recently, last week, we had 3 staff members go. We plan on looking at our district civil rights report and looking to see what the data says there, because let the data speak for itself. A team went to a council responsiveness workshop at Watertown Unified School District. And what I wanted to share with you is that this is a conversation at the Dodge County level. It's not a Mayville conversation. It's a Dodge County discussion with the superintendent. We coordinated with the Myra School District and one other. We created a Courage Retreat. It's actually it's like a Be the Change experience for 7th grade students. I participated in that with them. That was really fun. Kids loved it. And right now, prior to the end of the school year, we're working with Gals Institute. It's an organization, a mental health organization out of Oconomowoc. They're coming up and they're hosting an 8th grade event. And I believe we're going to add in a parent component to it as well. So Be the Change is starting in our middle school. And Nikki came and talked about all the efforts we're doing in food service to address the stigma that once was associated with free and reduced. We're really trying to be very mindful to do something about that. So just want to share it. There's a lot of stuff that's going on here. I'm very pleased with the intentions of the staff and how they are being very proactive and I just see good things happening. So, in your agenda tonight, you have to approve the open enrollment applications. You don't have a choice, you have to approve them. It's just semantics is what it comes down to. We intentionally did not